Hey guys, welcome back to Outside the Box with Lala. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys are doing great today. I hope that the weather is not causing nobody to go into a deep depression. That it seems to happen a lot around the fall and the winter. People seem to go into a deep depression. So guys, look, today I'm here to cheer you up. Today I'm here to lift you up. Okay. So again, welcome to Outside the Box with Lala. And by the way, did you guys see my sister entourage during the wedding? Like we were like no, we really, you know what, we did an amazing job, and I'm just so blessed with my brother-in-law, and I'm so happy with my sister. Congratulations to the Holiday family. um the ones that know them, they know who I'm talking about. But yes, let's get back to, okay, part two of part three of the discussion I was talking about last time. The first thing we talked about was the spiritual part. The spiritual part of ourselves. Now I'm going to talk about the soul part of ourselves. Again, guys, I apologize. I am getting over a cold. I got my box of tissue, so you might see me blow my nose. I apologize. And I got my lemon and honey tea. But did you guys see what it say on the thing? Oh my god, a wonderful friend of mine actually got me this. And look what it say. Faith. Listen, everything happened through faith. Okay? As y'all know, I'm not ashamed to talk about my Lord. I'm not ashamed to talk about who I serve. And it is what it is. But I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And welcome back to my channel, Outside the Box with Lala. Again, guys, so we're back to talking about our soul. So, so what can I say about our soul? Our soul is where we get that part of ourself. Like that's where our inspirational thoughts come from. That's where our feelings come from. That's when our emotions come from. That's when we are passionate. That's when like we have different characters of like our swag and how different ways about ourselves. That is where our souls come from. That is what defines our soul. A soul identify with gender as well, he or she, because the spirit does not define with the gender, because the spirit is a DNA of God, as we talked about before, and because it's a DNA of God, it does not define with a he or she. But the soul is your character. That's your personality. That's who you are as a whole. So, okay, y'all gotta bear with me because I know I need to do this. I have to. So I might be drinking my tea, and I apologize, but I'm hoping that the message can come off the way I need it to come out. Okay. How do we define our soul? Our soul is the person that we are, and our soul defines with our spirit. Okay. So our spirit and our soul lives in a house, which is called our body, our flesh. you know and without our spirit or flesh, our spirit or soul lives in a body, the vessel, or as we call it, the flesh, is empty. So what makes a home? You know how you say you can have a house, but if a house is empty, it's just a house. But if the house is filled with love and people that lives in it, it makes it a home. So I want y'all to look at it that way. Our spirit and our soul lives in a home, which is our flesh. So that part of ourself is what give us our character. That part of ourself is what give us our sass and who we are. And you know how you be like, oh, I know how she's acting by the way she moved, or I know how he acted by, because you just know we just can identify with each other through our souls. If you don't know, now you know. So let's go to my favorite place, Google, because I want Google to give you the definition of soul, because I want you guys to understand that the soul and the spirit are really connected. The soul and the spirit are really, really connected. That is why people say your spirit have to be lifted, because if your spirit is lifted, it give energy to the soul, so the soul can feel, deliver, embrace, lifted, light, feel free from doing things. So let's look at definition on Google of what is a soul. Okay, definition of soul. Hold on. Okay, Google, what is the definition of soul?
Here's the definition of soul. The spiritual or immaterial part of a human being or animal, regarded as immortal.
So it said that it's the spiritual part of a human being as a mortal. So we are, well, yeah, like I guess human beings or animals is what soul living to give life to the body. I hope I'm making sense of what I'm saying. Our soul is what give us our energy, is what lift the body, is what cause the body to move, and our soul can be drained. Our soul can be drained. Our soul can be in places that can redirect our flesh on. It gives signal to the flesh, because the soul is the emotional part of yourself, and it gives signal to the flesh to say, I am depressed, I am stressed, I have anxiety, I have, it gives it that kick. So I feel like it's like an energy that give energy to the soul. I mean, it gives an energy to the flesh to say how you're feeling, how you're doing, or if you're in a good mood or a bad mood, or stuff like that. It is the principle of life, of feelings throughout our actions as humans. It is it's separated from the body. And what I mean by separate from the body is, if your soul is tired, if your soul is drained, it give a energy, or it give a signal to the body to say, I'm tired, I need to go to sleep, or my body don't feel right. It's because if your soul is drained and your soul gives a signal to the body to explain to them like how you're feeling. Now let's go more into that. Soul is as we know, soul is the emotional part of human nature. But our soul can feel drained, or our soul can feel a lack of something. What caused our soul to feel a lack of something? Okay, we'll go into certain details. See, I'm telling you, this part is a little emotional, because I'm about to hit some topics that is very uncomfortable, but I have to hit it because I just have to, so that you guys can understand what I'm saying. So that when you guys see this, then you will know that it's a red flag, and it's something that you must do to maintain it, or move from it, or change something about your inside, so that you can live a better life, if that makes sense. And I hope it makes sense. When you are tired, or you're feeling out of touch, that's a red sign. That's a red zone right there. That means that you're feeding your soul wrong or negative energy, and sometimes it can tap out. See, our souls can tap out. And what I mean by our souls can tap out is, you know how people lose conscience? Where were you in the time when you lost conscience? You know how people can say, I felt like I wasn't there, or sometimes we get so angry that we black out. Your soul can tap out. When you fainted, when you fainted, your soul can tap out. When you feel a lack of energy, not getting enough rest, not feeding your body enough water or something, your soul can tap out. That doesn't mean your soul is dead. Your soul just kind of like left your body. If you guys are understanding what I'm saying, your soul can leave your body. Okay, agree to disagree. Listen, not here to argue with y'all, but your soul can literally leave your body. And your soul leaves your body, your energy is drained, and you lost signal to the body. That's when we faint. That's when we go into a coma. That's when we feel numb. Not even, we don't feel like we're there. Your soul can tap out. That's what it means. It can be tired from the way that you feel in your everyday life. People say, I'm not feeling like myself. That's another way that your soul can tap out, like something ain't right. Living life and having a purpose that does not fulfill your soul. Now, that's a big one. Let me repeat again. Living life or having a purpose that does not fulfill your soul. Such as being petty. Now, we all, including myself, we need to work on that. When you're petty and you're holding on to a grudge or something, and you say, I feel like, I'm not ready to let it go. You got to be careful. That can make your soul tapped out or drain your soul. Being in a stage of arguments. All that energy you're using to show that person that the person is wrong, or trying to make a point and get your point across. It's okay to get your point across. That is not what I'm saying. But when you get to a place that you're not even understanding one another, that's draining your soul. Let me keep it real. That's true. Gossiping drain your soul as well. See, this is the biggest part. See, I told you this is about to get real. Hanging out with toxic people. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? I'm talking to you. Hanging out with toxic people can drain out your soul. You see, this is what I'm saying. That's why I said the spirit and the soul work hands to hands. Because the spirit, see, good spirit bring good energy. Bad spirit bring bad energy. Everything you're feeding your body, it can hurt your soul or it can lift your soul. That's real. If you keep feeding your body with people who are toxic and not good for you, you know what that end up doing? That's literally draining your soul. And if you do that, whatever spirit you bring that's connected to your soul, you're draining your soul. Y'all need to think about that. Real talk. Holding on to grudges. Being petty, in the same boat. These type of things, guys, this is not healthy. We want revenge. And, what did Drake say? Looking for revenge. See, even that song itself, he was lurking and he was looking for revenge. Revenge feel good for the flesh, but revenge don't feel good for your soul. Revenge don't feel good for your spirit. And we need to be mindful of that, because see, the flesh loves anything that bring toxic to it. You know, we drive from anything that will bring that rush of doing something wrong. I mean, that's just human nature. But our souls and our spirit are not happy with most of the decisions that we make that drain them. And they tap out. They don't want to be part of that. They don't want to be part of that. They don't want to be part of your toxic behavior. You know, it's the biggest lack, and the biggest of the drain is lack of love. Now, that part is very emotional, because you ever fell in love with somebody and you're like in a good place with them, and you just like, you know, like we say before, that butterfly in your stomach and stuff, and you're giving this person love and the person's not giving you love. So when a person's not giving you love, your soul is ready to tap out, because your soul is tired of the emotional roller coaster that you're going through. But because we stay in toxic love, toxic relationship, your soul will literally numb itself. And it's so bad that, remember when I was talking about it gives energy to the flesh, which is your body? So what ended up happening is it gives that energy to your flesh, and your flesh is draining. And then when people look at you, they say, you know, who are you? You're not even yourself no more. What's going on? Like, we're not even understanding what's going on. Lack of love can also bring toxic to your soul and toxic to your spirit. Now, I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Can you lose your soul? A lot of people think you can lose your soul. You can't. Let me tell you something. You can't lose your soul, but let me tell you what happened. So first, your soul cannot die. But however, some people feel like their soul is lost. Your soul can be lost, but your soul cannot die. And the reason for that is because our beautiful heart, our beautiful precious heart that God created, and our soul pretty much share the same qualities. Okay, our heart and our soul share the same quality. That goes into the spirit and the soul being connected. You know, sorry, it's true. It share the same quality. It share the same qualities. You can lose your body, but you can't lose your soul. But your soul can be lost, because when your soul tap out, where's your soul going? How can we make our soul strong? Now, how do we make our soul strong? We make our soul strong by gaining control of it. And when we gain control of our soul, we gain control of our body. And when we gain control of our body, it works hands to hand. Okay? It works hands to hand. And that comes from exercise, eating well, you know, doing what you have to do to lift your soul, feeding yourself with the word of God. That's what I do. I feed myself with the word of God consistently, because let me tell you something. Just like how we need physical food to eat, we need spiritual food. Spiritual food is from reading your word. I don't know if you're Muslim or you're Christian, but I'm Christian and I read the word of God, or Jews, or whatever you are. You need to read the word of God. I read the Bible because the word of God, it lifts my spirit. And when it lifts my spirit, it lifts my soul. And if it lifts my soul, it gives energy to the body to say, even though I might look bad in the outside, I might be going through a lot in the outside and the inside, I'm a fighter because I'm a warrior. You know, reading the Word of God, it makes me feel like a warrior, and I'm unstoppable. But that's just me. We must get in touch with our soul. It is very important because if we don't, we lose the action. We lose, we lose ourselves. We lose our action of who we are. Um, our souls is very much in our soul is very much attached to our spiritual self. I'm saying it because I want y'all to get it. I want y'all to get it. And it work hands to hand. It's important that we listen to our soul. Why is it important that we listen to our soul? Because your soul, it would tell you when it's tired. It will tell you when it's tired of fighting. It will tell you when it's ready to tap out. And we need to be careful of that. We must be careful with pretty much everything that we do, by what we listen to, what we see. Because see, somebody can tell you something, and what they're telling you, once you receive it, and if it's not good for you, and you receive it, it changes your whole mood. You know how you be like, my whole mood changed and this and that. It changed your whole mood because you're receiving some information. That's why I say the word of mouth is very powerful, and you can bless somebody or you can curse somebody. And when you do that, you have to be mindful because you are accountable for that you do to others. And the word is to do to others like how you wouldn't done to yourself. Something similar to that. But I'm just speaking because I want y'all to understand what I'm saying. You have to be mindful how you treat others. But the ones that are receiving it, you have to be mindful of what you're receiving in your system. Because if you're receiving something that could be toxic, you just pretty much curse your whole self. But you don't have to receive what everybody say to you. You know what I mean? You have to be mindful of that. Receive what is positive, and what is not positive, just push it to the side. That's what I do. We have to be mindful with let me see what I said. We have to be mindful of how we deal with our heart, because most people hearts are damaged. Why they're damaged? Because they receive things that are toxic for their heart, and like I said, the heart and the soul work hands to hand, so you gotta be careful with that. It is important that we understand that our soul is where our emotions come from. It is very important that we understand that our soul is where we our character and who we are come from, because we need to understand that that's where your feelings come from. That's where your emotions come from. That's where your passion has come from. Somebody can rob you from your passion if they decide to curse you with their mouth and saying like, oh, you're not good enough to do it. But it depends on how you receive it. Because if you receive it in a way that is not good for you, then you got to be mindful of that. Just so we need to pay. Okay, I'm gonna end it with this. That's where we need to pay attention to. We need to pay attention to our inner self. We need to pay attention to the spirits that we have around us, meaning people, because not everybody have good spirits. And you need to be mindful of that, because whatever spirit you bring in your system, you're feeding your soul with. Whatever spirit you decide to bring in your system, you're feeding your soul with. So a soul do play a big part in our body, because people die of a broken heart. People die of their soul being weakened. And I'm just being real. That's a very sensitive part to us, our soul. And we need to be mindful of that. We need to understand that we have to feed our soul with positive energy and nothing toxic. Because if your soul is filled with something toxic, it will mess with your flesh as a whole. And it just I'm a little saddened about it, because I know so many people that have lost souls, and because they're lost and they don't know how to gain control or move forward. Like I say, I'm gonna always speak about the word of God, because God played a big part in my life. And once I realized and I grasp and I have a relationship with him and I grab a hold of him, I realized that my body need his word, his wisdom. I need to feed my body correctly. I was in that deep, dark place before. Things did come to me that was trying to feed my soul negative, toxic energy. And I allowed it for a while. But once I was ready to tap out, because my soul was like, I'm ready to tap out. I thank God that he pulled me. He pulled his daughter. He pulled me from it. And I started to feed my spirit with the word of God, which we call spiritual food. And it started to lift my soul up. So, dear brothers and sisters, as our wonderful Paul was saying the word, feed your soul with the word of God. Feed your soul with positive energy. Feed your soul with things that will lift you up, because our soul is very sensitive part of ourself. And the soul and the spirit go hands to hands, because without the soul and the spirit, our body would just be an empty vessel. Our body would just be an empty house. But it needs the soul and the spirit to make it a home. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys get something from this. I'm sorry, I am sick a little bit. I'm trying to get better. But please like, comment, share, subscribe. And thank you again. And I appreciate you guys. And again, listen, the winter and the fall is a very depression place. Reach out to your loved ones. Check on your families and friends. Lift their spirit up, because you never know what somebody's going through. And we need one another at the end of the day. So, again, if this video you can share with somebody, let them like it. Outside the Box with Lala. Thank you again for watching. Have a wonderful day.